Imagine Switzerland as an island, and
immigrants from a distant land are coming directly to our shores.
A king with a particular orange hairdo visits us and parades in our cities.
A UFO lands and the aliens share their technology with us.
Our police corps is suddenly replaced by menacing robots.
A black hole appears at CERN because the scientists went a bit too far.
Hallo zusammen, ciao, salut, hi!
Wir sind Blindflug Studios, ein Schweizer Indie-Game-Entwickler.
Abbiamo realizzato un gioco sulla Svizzera.
Et c'est quelque chose que nous voulions faire depuis longtemps. Le jeu s'appelle Democratia, the Isle of Five.
Elle est un jeu de table moderne ed elle est venu sviluppare per incumbenza ed in collaboration con Avenir Suisse.
Es war toll, an einem Game zu arbeiten, das sich um das eigene Land dreht und das zeigt, wie einzigartig das politische System der Schweiz ist.
In questo video vi presentiamo la nostra idea alla base, come è nata e perché è così speciale per noi.
So from now on we will switch to English to solve the typical Swiss problem that everybody can understand us. Democratia is a virtual board game taking place on an island with 5 tribes. This island looks a lot like Switzerland, and it's also working in the same political system, which means that the islanders are voting on how the island will behave to certain events. And these events and votes are events and votes that either happened to Switzerland in the past, that could be happening right now, or are votes that we will face in the future.
Democratia, the Isle of Five, was made for the 20th anniversary of Avenir Suisse. This project was a very special one for me and for Blindflug Studios. The idea to make a game about Switzerland and its very special political system was always there and was kind of a nucleus of the beginning of Blindflug. I always wanted to make that game, but I never had the chance to find a client or a project setup to actually do it. So when Avenir Suisse contacted us and asked if we want to give the input for a special anniversary project or a special anniversary celebration thing, I was very, very thrilled, and I instantly knew, oh wow, that's the chance to make this project, to bring that idea, making a game about the political system of Switzerland to life, and I was so thrilled last summer. Avenir Suisse main goal was to make something special for their anniversary. Not something old school, boring, very unflexible, but something that can reach out to a big audience and spark joy and fun and very great moments with friends and family members.
The goal of the game is to push the political agenda of your clan. But still, you have to cooperate with the other players, because if only one of them loses, the whole island is doomed. It's about discussing the votes, the events and political strategies while playing the game. Step into the shoes of someone else and envision Switzerland through their eyes. Think about what the future will bring, think about what to prepare for, but also think about the consequences that your actions have.
So you are now playing as the leader of one of these 5 tribes, and each one of these tribes is representing a different ideology that is typical for Switzerland. So the game is not only partly based in the political parties that exist in Switzerland, but also on the geographic regions of Switzerland itself. So you might have, for example, the nature-loving Vertis all high up in the mountains, or the conservative Tellies that are trying to keep the island as it was before. We certainly played around with cliches, and the whole game is taking a bit of an ironic approach, but you as a clan leader will need to figure out what your villagers want from you and how they expect you to shape the island so that they are happy.
Democratia is played like a board game, with up to 5 players locally, and each of them takes the lead of a clan. You interact with the villagers by motivating or relocating them to other clans. And depending on how happy your villager is or how many villagers you have, you get more resources, and the clan with the most resources at the end of the game wins. A very important part of the gameplay are the votes. On each voting day, each clan has 100 votes to spend for various topics, And the decisions made here then play a huge role on the outcome of events that play throughout the game and decides on the fate of Switzerland.
In Democratia, the island of five, you can experience the Swiss democracy in a fun and enjoyable way. You can learn like how referendums and voting works. And yeah, with a little bit an ironic touch, you also see how much and how many times we vote each year. Democratia, the Isle of Five, is a fun and educational game to teach your kids how our Swiss Democratia works. It's a perfect kitchen table game. Es Küchentischspiel. Sweet, neat and fun to play.
It was an amazing challenge doing a game for Avenir Suisse, because on one hand, this game needed to be complex and deep to really reflect on what they usually say on a political level, but on the other hand it had to be modern, it had to be stylish, and it had to be approachable for gamers and for non-gamers alike. So what we try to do is really fuse together their expertise in economics and what we know from systems of game design. And I can tell you, and that was a surprising part, economists, they make surprisingly great game designers. No, seriously, once we were going deep into balancing the game and calculating the real values, I got stood up a lot and got taught like how to actually calculate stuff by the economists. That was crazy.
Working with the great and talented people at Avenir Suisse was fun and enjoyable. Their great know-how and knowledge about Switzerland was a very good fundament to design a game that is fun and enjoyable to play. And I think you can see that in the result. For Avenir Suisse, it was a new way to communicate their research and work. And I think it's a way where you have a different level of complexity and a different level or a different kind of approachable content there. So they can reach out to new audiences that never had the chance to get in touch with their work before.
One thing that makes games totally different is that they are entertaining and interactive, meaning the players are trying out stuff and they're seeing the results that are happening, and it feels like they are figuring out themselves. That makes games something really, really immersive. These days we are so used to being able to test out stuff ourselves, to have a real hands-on approach to everything, that it can reach a totally new audience. It can reach an audience that is really used to figuring out stuff themselves, and that's amazing. A big plus of games is also that this hasn't happened 30 years ago, but right now everybody has a game console in their pocket. Everybody has a device, has a smartphone that you can potentially get them a game to play. It isn't a question anymore whether you would have a device that can do that. Everybody does. And let's face it, games are state of the art. They are currently very, very much modern and cool. It's the most exciting entertainment medium there is, period.
So go and get the game. Play with your family, your friends, your kids, and discuss your political decisions. And play the future of Switzerland. It's free on the Google Play Store and on the Apple App Store.